I've never found a love like this. There it is. I've never found a love like this.
Hello everyone, welcome back to E20 Zone TV. We have all just watched Everton 1, West Ham United 0. I'm lost for words today. I really am. I am fucking bitterly disappointed, massively disappointed. To my right is Tom, and to my far right is Lucas, all the way from the US of A. Tom, talk to me about that, mate, because I am on the verge of saying Moyes out. I am. It's close.
Black and white Lucas. I'm not there yet. I just said to you there, I'm not yet there yet. I feel like he's bought enough time over the last couple of years. But today was a massive step in the wrong direction now. I also said, look, international break is now, which means that the best time, if you're going to sack a manager, is probably now. But listen, I think he's, like I said, I think he has bought enough time over the last couple of years, but I think today was a massive step in the wrong direction. And I think for me, I think he's bought players that just don't necessarily fit the style of play he wants to play. And I think to get the best out of some of those players, he has to change how he sets his team up. You can't go into today's game having Pablo Fornals down the left against the hard-working right back in Patterson. It's just not gonna work. There's no pace. So we did see it, when Cornet came on, that he at least tried to attack down that left-hand side with a little bit of pace. Paqueta just not great today. You see, the thing is, I think the one thing that we can all knock Moyes for, whether you're Moyes in or Moyes out, is that he's too stubborn. He has his favourites. Today, Souček, I mean, some of the passing I've seen there, I'm pretty sure the three of us could play a better ball 5 yards forward. It's just not good. I don't know why he doesn't sort of try to drop Paqueta back into a sort of maybe a central role with Rice, play Fornals through the middle, have either Benrahma or Cornet out on the left. I think even Bowen in the last few weeks, he's just not shown enough. Like I said, Moyes, to his stubborn credit, will just constantly just stick with the same team week in, week out. Sorry, James, am I?
Right. So, just want to say this, yeah? People in the chat, I can see what's going on in the chat. I can see where this is sort of going. I'm having none of this shit today. None. Yeah? You say anything out of order to the people on this panel, you're gone. If anyone says anything out of order to the chat on this panel, they're gone. It's as simple as that. I'm not fucking about. I'm not in the mood. Yeah? Do not fuck about with me. Yeah? Today. Yeah? Because I'm not in the mood. Tom, continue and then hand it over to Lucas.
Yeah, no, sorry, I actually haven't even got the chat open today. I don't really, after the last couple of weeks. But no, look, the thing is, like I said, there's players that should not be playing at the moment that have let the side down the last few weeks. I don't know what it is. They're not giving 110% for the manager. Has Moyes lost the dressing room? I don't know. But there's players that should not be playing the way that they are on current form. They just shouldn't. And unfortunately, this has played into Moyes' downfall, is that he'll continue to pick the same side. And I think, going into today, like I said, there should have been one or two changes, because this side has not been working, especially yes, it has in Europa, but or the Conference League, but that's more because, we're playing lesser opposition.
Let's be honest though, Tom, we've been fucking lucky in that.
Yes, we haven't. But again, as I said today, I wouldn't have chopped and changed it. I'd have sort of gone similar to the other day. I'd have had maybe Paqueta, Rice in midfield, either Fornals or Benrahma through the middle, and I'd have had Cornet out left just to add a bit of pace to the team. But even then, the likes of Bowen, etc., it's just people. They're not performing to the level we've expected of them the last couple of years, and that is, it's worrying. But like I said, maybe I'm just in the camp of, I'm willing to give him a little bit more time. I would say up until the World Cup, and if we haven't improved sort of in the next few weeks or month, I'd be at that point, I'd say, probably it's time to move on. I'm obviously, I don't want to get to a position where we wait too late to sack a manager. But as I said, I'd give him a couple of weeks at least just to see if he can turn it around. But after today, all I will say is that it's something clearly is not right, whether it be with Moyes, the players, the dressing room, something. It's just, top to bottom, it's just not looking great today.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, mate. Before I hand over to Lucas, I just think Moyes has had 7 games in the Prem, and we haven't looked good, really. We looked good in 45-minute spells. And today, I looked at us today, and we didn't know what team was decent. We didn't know what players looked good. Fucking hell, it was just shambolical. Like, it's like we've got a load of players, and how can we go from £170 million worth of talent import this year and look worse than we did last year? It just makes no sense. It really doesn't.
I still think about, sorry, Lucas, before you get onto Lucas, I still think about last time we did that with.
Shouldn't be though, should it, though, Tom?
No. But obviously, I still remember when we did that with Pellegrini, and look where that got us when we spent all that money. We expected so much more of it, and everyone came in, and it was like, shit. Well, hang on a minute. We spent money. Why are these players not turning up? Listen, I don't know what it is, whether it would be a change of system to get the best out of some of these players. But as I've said, Moyes is so stubborn that he probably won't do that. He will stick to his tried and trusted methods that he has throughout his entire career. He's not really even a reactive manager. He's not a proactive manager. He's more sort of reactive than anything else. But even then, I think during games, we've said it in his entire tenure, he's been too slow to react to stuff that's happening on the pitch. I personally would have made a sub at half time. I'd have probably brought Fornals off at half time and put Cornet on straight away, or Ben Rama or something. I'd have changed something, because you could tell in that first half that the game was headed in one direction and one direction only. And I think that is the biggest issue with Moyes, is that he's far too reactive, but even then too slowly. He's not proactive going into a game and trying to change things.
Yeah. Richard's on the Ben Rama hunt again. But just remember one thing, Rich. Ben Rama at the fucking post. It's closer than anyone else did come today. So just remember that, bruv. Lucas, take it away, man.
Yeah. I really don't know what to say or how to start, but today's just like in my opinion, this is like one of the worst ways to lose, is when, like, just from top to bottom, everything goes wrong. So far this season, I think mostly it's been either the manager or the players that have really done us wrong. And today was just a complete, utter failure from everyone. The team selection, the subs, not the subs, but the timing. The players today were incredibly awful, bar maybe 3. And I don't know why. It's not because of my webcam, but I do feel like I'm at a funeral right now, which doesn't feel great. But I'm a person that tries to look for answers to the questions, and right now nothing's coming up Millhouse at all. A few things. Thank you, Dave,
Big
for
up,
becoming
Dave,
a member. I've said this for a while now. I typically do not like starting Fornals when a game is to be had on the attacking front. I like him when I don't even know what to say anymore. Today is just really depressing. I can't even finish my thoughts because I'm very upset and sad. But just my overall thoughts is just everything went tits up today. There's not one person to blame. Everyone's to blame. The club really embarrassed us today. They embarrassed themselves. And yeah, today was just a monstrosity. And and by the way, the overall match itself, what a horrid game of football. That was shit.
Yeah.
That was one of the worst matches I've ever watched.
That was Everton's first win this season as well, wasn't
it? Yeah. 4 draws, 2 defeats, and then they beat us.
The thing is, though, listen, I understand. I'm I've said it before. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Some people will be Moyes out. Some people will be, Moyes in. But I also think that the players, apart from maybe one or two, I thought Tilo Kehrer was superb today, and I thought that Declan Rice was superb at times. He was at fault for the goal, obviously, but other than that, he actually looked to try and bring the ball forward and actually try and create something. But even then, listen, yes, the buck stops with the manager, but also the players have to take a look at themselves because they themselves have not been performing to their standard.
It's feeling like favouritism, though, Tom.
It does. And listen, it starts with the manager and it always ends with the manager. But I think that there are certain players, and I'm looking at likes of Bowen, I'm looking at likes of Antonio and stuff, players that are favourites, let's say, quote unquote, in Moyes' system, that are just not performing to that level. And you can't just turn it on and off, like last year. You can't just turn it on and off when you want. You've got to be performing at this level. You just have.
The problem is, Tom,
I think the insecurities with certain players have set into this game, into their games now. And I'm looking at the likes of Bowen, maybe the likes of Antonio or Soufal, and I'm seeing insecurities in them that I haven't seen before. They're frightened almost to take on a man to beat. I mean, I can't remember the last time that Bowen ran at his defender, cut inside and had a shot like he did last year. I don't think he's even done it once this season, it feels like, in the Premier League. It's just, there's a level of insecurities this year with some of the players that is frightening, I think.
Thing is, when does this become... Because we spoke on this channel about 2 weeks ago. And you said, does Moyes look like he's under pressure? Moyes does not look like a man who's under pressure. He said, your words were, this is just a blip in your eyes. Yeah?
Yep.
Now, does this become a problem rather than a blip? Because this is a fucking long blip that we're having there. This goes back to last season. This goes back to pre-season. It's the start of this season.
Well, as you know, I'm not too worried about pre-season, so I don't really count that. Because they don't matter. It's dead rubber games. But yeah, obviously it's worrying when it goes back to last season and whatnot. But I think I've said it so many times on here before, Moyes has to bend, not break, in terms of his tactics. I don't think he has to change a lot in his system, but he has to take a look at the personnel that are playing week in, week out, and take a harder look at them and say, look, yes, I have my favouritism here, and yes, you guys have done it in the past, but if we want to move forward as a club, the same players cannot keep starting week in, week out. And look, yes, he's to blame for a lot that's gone wrong since the start of the season. Some will want to blame him more than others, and that's fair enough. I still look at Moyes over the last couple of years, and I think there is a manager in there that has done things right. And yes, there has been things that he's done wrong. He's got very wrong. But I don't want to just sack managers for the sake of it and bring somebody else in, because we spoke about this just quickly before we come on. Are we going to be able to get the likes of Pochettino? Are we going to be able to get the likes of, let's just say, I know you don't like him, but Tuchel? Are we going to be able to attract a top manager? Maybe not Tuchel because he's more defensively, but are we going to be able to attract a manager that wants to play attacking football, that will play week in, week out, Scamacca, Paqueta in the right positions? I just don't think we will. I don't think that those managers, maybe, unless we offer them a shit ton of money, will want to actually come and manage us. So
let me put it this way to the pair of you. When is his time up for you? Because for me, I'm going to start off, and I'm going to go to Lucas, and I'm going to leave Tom till last. For me, I look at it like this. The next 2 games are Wolves at home, I believe, and it's Fulham at home. That's the next 2 home games. I expect us to win both. Yeah? If he wants to keep his job, he's got to win both of them games. If he loses against Wolves, I think he's done. I really do. Right? And that's hard to admit, 2 years and all that. I get it. Yeah, he's been amazing. But sometimes all good things do come to an end. Yeah? And we've got to be real that we can't... Because if he goes and wins a game and he loses the next 3 or 4, then it just papers over the cracks. Like the Thursday night game papered over the cracks, in my opinion. I thought we were shit. We got away with it in Denmark. And today, listen, I know that it weren't a great game. Don't get me wrong. I agree with what people are saying. It's boring and everything. But Everton got the job done. And we just didn't. And they got Bekovic in goal, is it?
Yeah.
And we didn't even test him really at all.
We tested him once at the end corner.
And that was it, really. But Lucas, how long is it before Moyes is no more?
It's tough to say. It is really tough to say. And I was laughing earlier because you say Wolves and Fulham at home. And after my last spell in London, I can only see this going one way with my with my jinx. So could I be the silver dagger in the Moyes train? But I really have no idea because again, we're playing so bad, and I feel like even if we beat Wolves and beat Fulham, for me, it's not really going to change anything unless we play well. Like, obviously, we want the 3 points, we want the 6 points, but like something's got to change. And for me, it's so tough to say because, like, in my heart, I think he deserves at least till the World Cup break, see where things go. And that's probably where I stand. But again, if we put in the same performance that we did today against Wolves and Fulham, I can't really defend Moyes. So, I mean, anyone's opinion is valid to me. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just
valid
sad.
point from Peter. Yeah. Our next games are for the World Cup: Wolves, Fulham, Southampton, Liverpool, Manchester United, Palace, and Leicester.
Because we all know, like, we can get 3 points, 6 points, whatever, but if we're not playing well, like, nothing's gonna change. Like,
I agree.
It's so
in 7
disheartening.
games,
It's so negative.
we haven't looked good at all. Really,
not once.
Like in the Premier League, like forget the conference because the conference is the conference, and I couldn't care less if we win it or we don't win it. Like I'd want us to win it, but I couldn't care less. The fear I do have is the Prem because we don't look good at all. Like we've played good in sort of sections of games, but never as a whole sort of duration of a game. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So I am worried. I really am. Tom.
Well, that may be our route back into Europe this year is by winning the Conference League.
And then playing Luton away.
Yeah.
But I don't.
This is so sad. It really, it's so sad.
It is sad. It is sad.
Well,
no,
I'm trying to be objective to the point where I don't want to sit there and just go, yeah, Moyes out. I'm trying to look at both sides.
I get what Tom is saying about you got to turn it around. I get it.
I think unless you realistically, when we get to that Wolves game, you see a marked improvement and we come out and we win comfortably like we have done the last couple of years or sort of the start of last year. We come out and we go, right, we absolutely batter them and we win 3 or 4-0. But unfortunately, I can't see that happening at the moment. So yes, I do understand where people are coming from in terms of sacking and stuff like that. I do, but I think the biggest issue for me is that it's worrying me more now that it seems to be taking, and this is not just okay. So the manager, yes, will take the blame for the results and everything, blah blah blah, the tactics, system, everything. But what I don't understand is that the only reaction that the players give is when we go a goal down. That's not something that Moyes will do.
I absolutely hate that. That gets
that's and today was a perfect example when it happened. I think it's happened most games this season.
That's 3 games in a row now. It's happened to us.
We've gone a goal down, and all of a sudden, today it took 60 minutes or 50 minutes or however long it took for them to score. And then all of a sudden, it's like, right, let's come out and
we got a chance immediately.
But that's on the players today because it's like, why does the goal have to go in before we actually realise that? Oh shit, we better step up and start playing here. And the thing is, and then it's the double-edged sword because then it comes back to Moyes and you think, right, well, when those substitutions came on, they actually looked. And the thing is, I thought Ben Ryan was good today, but I actually thought in the final 10 minutes that Cornet actually looked our best player attacking wise the entire day. At least he
I
actually
agree.
looked to do.
I don't know
something.
about Lucas. Lucas was fuming with him.
I mean, it says a lot about the rest of the attackers when they don't actually do anything. And Cornet comes on with 10 minutes to go. He has a shot on target or two shots.
I have to do a feverism real quick because I saw someone reply to me on Twitter after, and I do tweet reactionally. So some of my tweets I wouldn't take 100%, but I did tweet and delete. Cornet is fucking dreadful. And someone said, well, at least he's running. And then I'm going to do my feverism right here. If he wanted to run, go look for a track.
I think the thing is as well, the difference is with having Cornet in there rather than Fornals. At least Cornet has, I said at the start, some pace about him. Fornals, when he comes up against the threat. No, of course, but when Fornals comes, especially when Fornals is playing on the left and he doesn't have the pace to beat a man, and he compared to someone like, and even Benrahma doesn't really have the pace to beat a lot of fullbacks. Yes, he'll fake and show inside and try and have a shot or something, but actual pace in itself, Cornet is the fastest player we've got down either side, and that for a lot of teams can get them out of trouble. Just having that, I mean, you saw it today. Damari Gray is not exactly the greatest player in the world, but how many times did he knock it past bloody Soufal?
We gave
that's the reason why when people
today.
knock Benny, when people do knock Benny, I do look at him and think, well, at least he does have a shot, whether it's over the bar or it's the post or has a shot, or it might be a shit shot, but at least he has a go at trying to do something. I've got to get to this comment from Richard, The last time we played well in the Premier League was at home victory against Liverpool last season. I remember that game because Pablo Fornals was absolutely amazing. I'll give him man of the match, and that was a man of the match performance. I agree with Richard for once on that. I ain't seen us play better than that since that performance. I can't remember.
In that game, genuinely, Richard, I'd like to know: does anyone know was Fornals playing off the left or was he playing through the middle? I think
he was a 10. It was,
and if he was a 10 in that game, if he's a 10, this is what I don't understand. And this is where it comes back to David Moyes, is that play to your strengths in that respect. Play Fornals as the 10. Play Cornet or Benrahma, the faster player, out on the left. It's just, I think it's such little things that Moyes can do to help his own cause and bend but not break. And you may see little like market improvements, but we're not, and this is where his stubborn side comes in. So this is what I'm trying to be positive. I know most of the people want him out today. And look, as I said, it's for me, I've taken a step towards, all right, your time is starting to run out a little bit now. But like I said, I don't want to sack a manager for the sake of sacking a manager if that there is not going to be a younger attacking manager that's going to come in and actually try to play. Because the thing is, there's so many managers that could come in that won't help some of these players.
But what it is
in their style and how they want to play.
Just to counter that, but is Moyes helping the current players that he's got?
No,
really,
no, and I've said that. I don't think he is. I don't think he is. And for me as well, I don't think he's helping his own cause because. On Thursday night or whenever, Flynn Downs should have started that game 110%.
What's Flynn Downs got to do to play a game?
It should have been Flynn Downs and it should have been Rice that started that game the other day. And even against fucking farmers in Denmark, Thomas Souček still managed to be the worst player on the pitch. And it's the same again today. And as I said, this is all down to when Moyes doesn't help himself. So for me, going into that Wolves game, I would... Let's just not pick favourites. Let's just pick the best 11 that we've got. Aguerd may be back at that point.
We need that geezer back urgently.
Soufal would go straight out of the team. I'd have Kerr at right back, Zuma, Aguerd, Emerson. I'd have Rice and Downs or Paqueta in that role. I'd have Cornet or Benrahma through the middle or out wide. Fornals as a 10 or Benrahma as a 10. Even drop Bowen for a few games to show that he's not undroppable and try and actually show... see if Scamacca can start a game. Because again, Scamacca, I know he was only on for 10 minutes, but at least he fucking went through the back of someone and showed some sort of aggression today because it was none of that for 90 minutes. There was no aggression.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I really do. I'm just deflated. Listen, I don't like to say about Moyes out, I've been very not going to say that on this channel in regards to me. But today I watched that game and I think I could probably find a better manager who could do a better job than him at the minute. I really could, and just get the better out of these players. We spent 170 million pounds on talent, and Paqueta don't look like a 51 million pound player. Listen, he might be Brazilian, he might be able to dance and all that, but he don't look it.
This is the thing. I think they are talent, but I think under the right manager, they're talent.
So there you go. Then.
I think that's the problem. Is that I think if you want to get the best out of some of these players, you've got to play possession football. You've got to play attacking football. There has to be a certain style that these guys perform well to. And yes, again, I'm not being the Moyes out person or whatever, but you need a certain type of manager for these certain players to get the best out of them.
I think the players are too big for him, though, Tom. If you want me to be honest, I think Scamacca's too big for him. I think Paqueta's too big for him. And I think what it is that he's got these players, and for a man who does not know what system that he's going to play, like his best system, he don't know his best team.
No.
And every game we're playing a different system. That's not right. That's just not right, in my opinion.
No.
Like 1 week we're playing a 5, 1 week we're playing a 3, 1 week we're playing a 4. We don't know where. It's just there's no sort of flow. Like one thing with West Ham last year, that listen, I didn't like it because the personnel and everything.
we didn't have the consistently field different teams though. Anyway, our best 11 was our best 11.
Yeah, and that's what it was, right? But one thing I will say is, even though he kept playing 4-2-3-1 every week in, week out, at least we could attack better. Like today, we even played a 4-2-3-1 and we didn't look like attacking decent, really. Lucas, anything else you want to add, mate, before we go?
The international break is going to be very, very, very important because, like you both just mentioned, something's got to get concrete, a system, a formation, something. We're doing so many different things. It's just it's not going to work in the long run. So I'd rather just get it nailed on during international break, even if it's a 4-2-3-1, a 5-2-3, whatever the hell you want to do. Just nail it on, go forward with it, and improve on it. Stop trying to. There's just too many questions. Too many. We need to get rid of a lot of the questions and just provide an answer. There you go. Yeah. Deep thought. Provide some answers.
The only other thing I'd say is when Pellegrini was here, I will say one thing about him is we conceded a shit ton of goals and we had one of the worst keepers in our history. But at least we played attacking football. I haven't seen that level of attacking football, unfortunately, since the second half of the season that Jesse Lingard was here. I haven't actually seen us attack like that for quite some time.
I agree. And
I think, like I said, when you bring in the likes of Paqueta, you bring in a Scamacca, you bring in Cornet, some of it. I think the main one here is the Paqueta. Play to your strengths. You have to play to your strengths. And if that means that you have to be a possession-based team, because for me, you can't go to Everton today and look to counter-attack them. Moyes will want to counter-attack. That's his style of football. But when you've got some of those players, you have to be positive in your mindset. You have to think, right, we're going to go into here, we're going to dominate on the ball. And I think having subtle changes like bringing Paqueta back to centre mid and playing with Rice gives you far much more control of a game than if you were having to start Souček in there who can't find his way out of a fucking Tesco's, let alone midfield or whatever. I think it's. I don't want to sack him for the sake of sacking him. If your intent is to bring in someone like frigging Sean Dyche or someone like that, the only way I need
or Scott
him gone,
Parker.
Yeah, the only way I would want him gone is if you've got a manager lined up that you know is going to at least. And I think we've got better defenders now than when we did under Pellegrini. I think you've got to bring in someone that is going to bring the best out of those players. And for me, yes, Pochettino is a great manager. And I think attacking-wise, he could get the best out of some of those guys, but he's also very defensive as well. Tuchel, very defensive. I don't really, want him. I want someone that is going to try and get the best. And I just don't think that there's many managers like that on the market at the moment that aren't already with other clubs. So it's a bit of a catch-22. Yes, I know something needs to change. Will it change? I don't know. I'm trying to somewhat take the positives out of a very negative time. There aren't many, if any at all. But if I... The only problem I have, and sorry before I shut up, the only thing I will say is I'm not keen on... I know people will say it's the best time to get rid of a manager now because we've got the international break, etc. But unfortunately, all of our best players are going to be away on international break. Those that are probably going to be in the starting 11 with a new manager will not be there for him by the time. He won't be able to have enough training sessions with a good starting 11 before he comes back. So that's why I'm not keen on it happening. But if we don't see a reaction and it's one that we come out and we dominate Wolves, if it's a 1-1 or if it's a lackluster defeat again like today, then I'd say to you, right, okay, unless now you've got a manager lined up, probably you need to leave. But
I think they're gonna. I think personally, they are going to be looking at managers in the window.
I don't think
in the break.
I don't think that they would have had them discussions before today.
Yeah,
everybody may have been thinking about it behind, but I don't think the discussion will happen. But now, I think those sorts of discussions will be, right, we need a plan B in case this goes tits up in the next few weeks. Like I said, I don't think they'll pull the trigger now. I think it'll be a couple of weeks. But I think now those discussions will take place. What is our second option here? Like Todd Boehly had with Graham Potter. They knew when Todd Boehly came in that Graham Potter was going to be their next manager. And it's got to be the same thing here. They're going to have to just line up a good one to take the place and go from there. And like I said, if it's someone like a Deitch or another defensive-minded manager, I'll be fed up at that point. I really will.
So would I.
But it can't get much worse than today. That was one of the worst performances.
Oh, I don't know about that, Tom. I've seen it we've all seen it many worse. Before we round it up, listen, I'm going to fire some questions at both of you. I just want
Lucas,
names, please, mate. First of all, Lucas, best player for West Ham today.
Me personally, it's really tough for me. It's between Zuma and Rice, and I'd probably go Rice because I think he was the more intuitive player today, and I thought he was really, really good today.
Yeah, I didn't know as it goes. Tom, best player for West Ham.
Could give a shit really after today. Kehrer for me. Thought he was brilliant. I thought some of his tackles. I think him and Zuma didn't not cover themselves in glory today. I thought they did well. But for me, I really like Kehrer. He's probably other than Rice in this current team, he's probably my favourite player so far this season. I think his reading of the game and some of the tackles that he times, etc. I think they're brilliant. But I think Rice and Kehrer are probably the two best players today.
Yeah, listen, I do love Kehrer. I think Kehrer is a great footballer. I've said it the moment he came, I said he's a gem for West Ham. But I'm going to say Declan Rice. I thought he was excellent. I really did.
Do you think it was at fault for the goal, though?
I think it's lax from him, but people will look at Kehrer more than him. But he was a try deck.
They both could have done better.
Paqueta allowed the ball in between the lines in as much as it was between Rice and Paqueta. And Paqueta allowed that ball in, and then Rice went for the tackle.
So, as the best player, Lucas, who's the worst player for you today? And you got to name one.
Pablo Fornals. He was absolutely horrific today.
He was bad, but Souček was god awful. He was. Fornals was like. I love me a bit of Fornals. I mean, most of the team were crap. I mean, today there's not really, other than a couple of names that actually did anything. But for me, Souček today, I wish I was sort of like believing of Mitch when he first said it, about Souček being crap. I laughed at him when he first said it. I remember that first show we did when it was about different opinions bringing it forward, and I'm going, oh, hang on a minute, this guy is a bit harsh, I won't say Paqueta because I think give him a couple of games, maybe. I think it's still very early for him. But Thomas Souček, there was that pass he made at the end where all he had to do was play a simple back pass to Zuma, and you could see Rice's head. He just went like he literally put his arms out. and was like, "What are you doing?" And he passed it out all the way over to
the one that
Demarai
did
Gray.
me today when he did not play that through ball to Antonio. I was absolutely
I've got to be honest.
roaring. I was roaring. I was literally in disbelief, like someone has just taken my wife and my kids.
You don't have
out of. You just can't. Let me be, you just can't let me be funny, Tom.
I can say it.
Listen,
I can say it.
I'm trying not to laugh.
I was in total shock that he didn't play that ball. But for me, it was a toss up between Fornals and actually no, it was like Fornals, Souček, Bowen. Those are my three. But Fornals didn't do one thing good today.
Do you know what? I'm going to say Bowen, mate. I thought Bowen was absolutely shit.
I think he was crap. Don't get me wrong, but Thomas Souček.
I'll tell you the reason why, Tom.
Souček, he cannot control a game in midfield.
I'll tell you the reason why I'm saying Bowen, because Bowen last season to Bowen now, it's like he's put his hand on the fucking football and it's like Space Jam. They took his powers and he's just given him as like an ordinary human being. Like, do you know what I mean?
Do you know
Fornals was shit? Don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to go into Fornals because people will say, "Oh, you got an agenda against Fornals." So I'll leave that. But Jared Bowen today, done fuck all.
I think we can, like me and you, in Bowen's first season, we were sort of highlighting, before a lot of people were actually, about his greed and everything else. You know, the amount of times that he'd just go in with his head down and not, but he's not even doing that. He's not even looking like the first season Bowen, where he was having a bit of greed and looking to show inside and have a shot or do so. He's just not looked great since the start of the season. I honestly don't know what has happened with him. But for me, again, as I said, Thomas Souček he cannot control the game in midfield anymore. He just can't. And I think for me, the fact that Moyes still sticks with him is just I don't know. It's alarming to say the least. But yeah, I today is a sad day, unfortunately.
It is a sad day indeed, mate. It really is. I'm going to wrap it up there, gentlemen. I really do appreciate both of you coming on. I know Lucas is hanging from last night. He went out and had a good time. I see the clips this morning because I went out also last night, but I come in and went to bed.
Sorry, he was on the phone to me at 7 o'clock. No, he was on the phone to Rebecca at fucking 7 o'clock this morning.
I did see the messages. I don't know what to say to everyone in the chat. Like, I really don't. Like, I don't want to make this depressing, but at the minute, it's very, very depressing at West Ham. This should be our breakthrough season where I was expecting big things from West Ham this year. And all I'm seeing is us literally struggling to even win a game. And this is a worry. I said it last week. I said it the week before. And I said West Ham were never too good to go down because I've seen one of the best teams to ever go down with West Ham. And some of the best talent to ever come out of West Ham go down. So I'm nervous. I do think the next game against Wolves is the one. I think they will line a manager up in this situation.
Lucas is coming back and he's going to see 0 wins.
I know. He could actually see a new manager, but when he's over it.
If I am there, well, I mean, I'm going to be there, but if I am there to witness the sacking of Moyes, like the match that gets him, I'm literally just flying back.
I'm going to be honest with you, and I'll say this openly. I think they're going to look at managers in the wind in this sort of break. If the Wolves game goes against us, I think he goes. I really do.
Can I just? I know you want to wrap it up, but I just want to quickly ask you both one question and the chat or whatever. I've discussed this with Rebecca the last couple of weeks. Do you think that this team is lacking a Mark Noble in the dressing room right about now?
Yes.
Like, do you think that? I'm not saying he would cure everything, and I know Declan Rice is a good leader, but in the dressing room specifically at the moment, I feel like we are massively missing.
Rebecca definitely didn't say yes.
She did. Yeah, she definitely said yes. She's missing him.
Do you know what? That's a valid point, mate. Valid point. No Mark Noble. It seems like everything's just collapsing around us. The thing is with Declan, I will say this, is that Declan's our leader, he's our captain, everything, but is Declan as close to West Ham as Noble is?
I don't even think it's
don't believe
that
he is.
really. It's already it's a tough ask to be the club captain at 23 years old. Not a lot of players can do that to the fullest degree. Like Mark Noble didn't become captain until when? What year did he become captain?
After Nolan left. So 2014.
Yeah.
2015.
But I mean, still West Ham through and through. We already know that. But he was also a bit older. Declan still has so many years to go, mature.
But what it is, though,
improve.
Lucas, the one thing I will say with what Tom's just said, and it's a good question to round it up, is that Mark's been for everything with West Ham.
Yeah.
Declan, I believe if the going got tough, Declan would go. Mark never left. Like, he stayed with when we got relegated. He's been through multiple managers. He's been through so much shit with West Ham. And what it is, when we used to lose a game, I used to feel it from Mark. Yeah, because it was like because he's one of us, basically, at the end of the day. Yeah. I think Declan gets the ump, right? But I just don't think it's the same. And I do think he's a major miss, Mark Noble, at the minute. But if things have got this bad that one of our players, our long-serving players, left, and we've gone from there and dropped down like a stone, that is a major worry to me. That's just a worry.
I'd say this. I don't think it's a coincidence that he's gone and we're questioning the dressing room being the way that it is. Genuinely, I think that's what's worrying. But one of these days, James, you will call him Declan and not Declan, because I think you're talking about two different players when you do that.
Well, I think he's playing like two different players a minute. 1 minute he's good, 1 minute he's shit. As they say.
We'll call him Declan when he's shit.
I'll call him fucking.
My new favourite one is when Soufal plays bad, we just call him Wofal, because that's how he feels as well. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, I did open the chat. Lacking more pace, Tom, than anything. I thought you were saying that I've got a lack of pace. You should see my turn of pace. Bloody hell. I put Pablo Fornals to shame, as with Lucas, in a straight line.
Hello. Lucas up front next game. Listen, I'm going to wrap it up there. I want to thank both Tom and Lucas for coming on today. I really do appreciate both their times for coming on. Another defeat for West Ham United Football Club. I'm worried, people. I really am. Listen, I think the next game that's it. I think they're going to line the manager up in the window, break, and the Wolves game is the massive one. If we lose that at home against Wolves, I think the shots will be fired at Moyes, and I think he'll be gone. And listen, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Player ratings. I don't know when I'm going to be doing the player ratings. I won't be doing nothing tonight. Tomorrow it's the funeral. So out of respect, I don't think I'll be doing anything. I might do it Tuesday night. If anyone's about Tuesday night, I'll give people time to sort of reflect on everything, and I'll roll something out on Tuesday night for the player ratings. But we will see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to let everyone go. Try and have a good Sunday, everyone. I know it's hard, but Moyes, fucking another loss again. He's in trouble, in my opinion. Take care. All the best.
There it is. I've never found a love like this.